The next thing that we're looking at when we're looking at Feng Shui for our desk, our cubicle, or a room that we use as a study room, it's generally 8 aspirations. Now, I've covered this in some other videos on Feng Shui. What are the 8 aspirations? Generally for work, we will usually look at North because it represents career stability, South because it represents career recognition, or if you are in marketing, sales, your own business, then the South sector is important because of your brand recognition. Then we're looking at Southeast generally for wealth, and the West, it is more for the profit and loss if you are a business owner, and that's how we can utilize small sectors. So when we are looking at a house, we use the bigger Tai Chi, where we look at the big sectors of where the house is or which part of the office it occupies. If it is your desk, we can do it similarly. So let's look at how do we activate a certain sector of your office desk, office cubicle, or room. Usually when we're looking at activation, we try to utilize the productive cycle. What is the productive cycle? Productive cycle is water producing wood, wood producing fire, fire producing earth, earth producing metal, and metal producing water. So if you want to understand a bit more about the 5-element cycle, if it's the first time you're joining me on this video, you can click on the button that I mentioned on top here, where there are videos that I talk about the 5-element cycle. So when we look at the 8 aspirations in the North, what do we do? Usually, because North represents career stability, I'll cover in the next slide as to what you can do to activate for career stability. The South represents recognition and promotion, like I mentioned earlier. Southeast represents wealth. So if you're in sales, commission base, it is usually a good area to activate. The Southwest is generally for relationship. Northwest represents helpful people, networking luck. And the Northeast, if you are involved in an industry where you do a lot of education, writing, publishing, then Northeast is crucial. And then we have the West sector for profit accumulation. Let's first cover 2 examples on how would you activate a sector for career in terms of 8 aspirations. Number 1, the North's element is water. So to produce water, we have metal producing water. Therefore, in the North sector of your desk, you should have more metallic items like objects that are metal, circle in shape. The color is actually that of white, silver, or gold. Or you can use water in terms of color is blue, black, gray. The shape is wavy patterns. I know some may not really believe in symbols. However, I came actually from the medical industry on the supply side. So when I first encountered Feng Shui and placement of items, I had the same questions and the key thing about does it really work? So I actually started from a retail perspective, talking to customers, and the feedback has been great. One of the key things is when your back is facing a long corridor and there's no support and you really need stability. So some people will actually use a metallic tortoise, place it either behind them or in the North sector of their desk, their cubicle, or the room. So that's one of the things that you can utilize for career stability. And if you're using the dragon tortoise, just make sure that the dragon looks far away, does not actually look into a wall. And the dragon tortoise compared to the tortoise, dragon tortoise is a little bit more powerful, so therefore you should be placing it a bit higher up. Most of the times I'll recommend that my clients, if they're putting a dragon tortoise, put it only actually in the office, not in your bedroom, because it's a little bit more aggressive. And if you put the dragon tortoise, try to put it higher and let it look further, either towards a window or towards a door. So then when we're looking at South, recognition as well as fame, luck. Now the South element is that of fire. So what produces fire? Wood produces fire. So to activate the South, you can generally have more wood in that location, either a green leafy plant, okay, so long as it's not a cactus or bonsai. And the plant should be in soil, mainly because the South is the fire element and you don't want to have water in there. So the colors are green and dark brown, and the shape of wood is rectangle. Then the next thing that you can look at for activation is fire, basically in terms of lights, in terms of the colors of red, pink, orange, and the triangle shape. If you are into symbols, you can use birds. Birds represents especially those in flight, is searching for opportunities. Else, you can also put your name card in the south sector. You can also basically put your certificates, your awards, and if you are in sales or marketing, the brand they are trying to promote, you can put in the south sector. This is from the perspective of 8 aspirations. Let's take a look at how do you measure these sectors on your desk. So when we are seated at our desk, as shown in this particular example here, is we will take a compass and put it in our hands, usually at the chest level to measure. Do not place your compass on the desk because there are too much equipment and too much electrical energy that will cause some misreading, and basically this is around the area where we are breathing. So that's one of the reasons why we'll put the compass in our palms facing front. So when you face front and you look at the compass, that's your facing direction. Now then I will look at the compass itself and see where are the various different sectors. So if the sector north in terms of the compass is pointing this way, then the sector towards the left hand side of your desk is the north sector. So in this picture here, you can see that we can not only just mark our house into 9 grids like as shown in the 8 mansions diagram in the Feng Shui series, you can also mark your desk into 9 grids. What happens if your desk is L-shaped? Then you can either take the maximum length and width of that desk area, or you can split it into 2 small Tai Chi for you to mark the 9 grids as well. So that's how you determine which are the sectors on your desk, and therefore how you will place the items or activate the items like I mentioned earlier. So in the north sector, for instance, then that's where you would put anything for career stability. South is your name cards, your certificates, your awards.